Hi, I'm Don Hahn, the producer of Beauty and the Beast. One of the first inklings we had that the film was going to be a hit was when we screened an early work-in-progress version in October of 1991 at the New York Film Festival. This was in the days before DVD bonus features, so it was really rare for anybody outside of animation to see a version of the film with story sketches, rough animation, and even unpainted cleanup tests. I think it really gave people an appreciation for all the work we do in animation to create the final polished look of the film. With the following special feature, you'll be able to see the same work-in-progress version of the movie as picture-in-picture, played simultaneously with the original theatrical cut.
One key aspect that sets the Belle character apart from other Disney heroines is her love of books. To emphasize this part of her character, the story team developed a sequence where Belle explores the Beast's library and meets 4 enchanted objects who live there. While it was a fun scene, we ultimately felt that Belle's love of reading came through in other scenes, and that we should focus more on objects like Cogsworth, Lumiere, and Mrs. Potts, who are more central to the plot. So, I'm happy to present this deleted scene featuring 4 lost characters, recreated using the original storyboards from the archives.
I think this is the first time I've seen you smile.
This place is like a dream come true.
I want this to be your place. You can come here anytime you want. I won't bother you here.
Thank you. That's very sweet of you.
Go ahead. It's all yours.
One of the challenges that we had to face story-wise on this movie was what are the rules of the magic, if you will. We settled early on the idea that all the enchanted objects in the Beast's castle were the household staff of the Beast when he was still in his human form.
Who said anything about the castle being enchanted?
And it wasn't that much of a leap after that. Just to look at the physical aspects and characteristics of the object, the candelabra, it is not so much warm as hot. He's fiery. So you bring the romance into that, and the tightly wound particular clock that's always worried about time and schedules.
This has gone far enough. I'm in charge here.
He was a kind of a mid-level executive.
And I think Howard Ashman came up with ideas like, well, the teapot could be, a little British lady.
How would you like a nice pot of tea, sir?
She could be Angela Lansbury, and he was very specific with some casting ideas, which really enriched the process.
In Beauty and the Beast in particular, he really had his characters perform their numbers. Now, that's what we do in the theater. If we have a big musical number, it's performed for the audience.
Right from the moment when I met her, saw her, I said she's gorgeous and I fell. Here in town there's only she who is beautiful as me, so I'm making plans to woo and marry Belle.
The character of Gaston, for instance, who starts off the movie, he does the first big numbers. It's really like a huge stage musical number. And he's bounding all over the place, and he's shouting at the top of his voice, and he's got a wonderful voice, and it works,
This is a Broadway show. This is really a Broadway show. I mean, that's how it felt when you read it, and all of these pros came to audition for it.
They auditioned about 500 Broadway actresses for Belle and all the other characters, and pretty much went for an entire Broadway cast.
There must be more than this provincial life.
Just watch, I'm going to make Belle my wife.
It's a larger-than-life story. It's very romantic. It is very theatrical in its concept. Numbers like Gaston and Be Our Guest are basically written to be big stage numbers. And it just fit. It just worked. When I saw what Rob Roth had actually come up with the sets and with the adaptation that Linda Wilverton was working on, and Tim Rice and I, of course, wrote new songs, it was a whole experience that I never anticipated.
The biggest challenge in changing Beauty and the Beast into a stage musical was the challenge of the objects. How do we allow actors to play these objects? Turning into a physical production. It was all very, very challenging.
The song that replaced Human Again was Something There.
Something There, yeah.
There might be something there, and that's a song that came in really at the 11th hour. I mean, Howard was very, very sick when you guys wrote that song, I remember.
Yes, Howard was, he wasn't even able to make it to the studio.
Yeah.
And we had that section of it new and a bit alarming. And Page was going, new and a bit alarming. And Howard would listen, and he said, he unfortunately couldn't speak.
Yeah.
Everyone had to get very quiet. And he said, tell her, Streisand, new and a bit alarming. And that's what's in the movie.
New and a bit alarming.